Yeah, so a duck is pretty much controlling this channel now. Said duck messages me on Twitter and says, make video on Spider-Man, and for some reason I'm unable to say no, so here I am. It did something similar where he suggested I make a video on Kanye West's Twitter account, but that doesn't count because I was gonna do that one anyway. But Extreme Blitz, I now upgrade you from Twitter duck number 5 to Twitter duck number 4. Congrats on the promotion, man. You are now only behind Quackity HQ, Dull and Dark, and Punk Duck. You still got some climbing to do, but I believe in you, man. You can do it, bud. You guys may have noticed that the box has undergone some, cosmetic changes. This time, the box decided to renovate itself, again. And when I say that, I mostly mean that it just changed the colors of the walls. You know, it's just going through another one of its mood swings. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Anyways, hi again. But yeah, like I said, today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, or Spider-Man, I guess. It's not really a secret that I'm a massive fan of the new PS4 Spider-Man game. I think it's fantastic. I gave it a quick mention on a video before this. I've gushed about it multiple times on Loudmouse, I'm pretty sure. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you have a PS4 and you haven't played this game yet somehow, go out there and buy it, you fucking cheesecake. Now, I'm sure you've seen this game around a lot. It seems like it's yet another Marvel property that's managed to take the world and pop culture over by storm, and also into a vice grip chokehold. And like any other popular thing, there's bound to be some memes that fall off said thing, like dead skin cells. One of the ones I see the most is Spider-Man looking down at his phone, where it's just a screenshot over the shoulder of Spider-Man texting, and then the next picture in succession is a text conversation or just a screenshot on a phone that he's speculated to be looking at. Like, some people put really weird tweets they found, like, here, let me make one right now. Here's the picture of Spider-Man looking at the phone all innocently, and now here's a phone screenshot of me saying ass weed on Twitter. You can find more quality tweets like this on my Twitter account, @Kwite. Follow it if you're really into making decisions that you will instantly regret. And listen, this meme doesn't just stop at me. You can take anybody's weird-ass tweets and DMs and turn them into one of these Spider-Man memes. Like right now, I'll take the original Spider-Man phone image and use this DM that my friend Bunty King got. Some of the shit he gets in DMs is absolutely staggering, by the way. Reasons I don't have open DMs. Now, surrounding the meme, I see a lot of speculation, not so much on what it is Spider-Man is looking at alone, but also what device he's looking at that stuff on. Some people, from the way the text chats are formatted with the colors in the background, believe the phone to be an Android device. Like Mr. Whatever this guy's fucking ad is. Spider-Man got an Android. Y'all can't say shit now. Now, of course, this is a very controversial statement, and not everybody's gonna take too kindly to it. For instance, @ByTyler on Twitter, who had a much different take on what the text chat setup indicates. It's called Grindr. Spider-Man is a faggot, and y'all will deal. Now, I'm not here to take sides, but I will say that it appears that the homo-gay community seems to have decided that if Spider-Man is gay, he's definitely a bot. That's just a lot of the public response that I've been seeing. But there was another meme that's derived from this new Spider-Man game that comes from a built-in feature of the game, specifically the photo mode, where you have the ability to take selfies as Spider-Man. And of course, with this astonishing power to place Spider-Man anywhere in Manhattan to take a selfie with whatever holding up some groovy hands, people took this incredible power and took a fat poopy on the whole responsibility part. And honestly, it's more fun for it. For instance, @PyroCynicalTV on Twitter, whoever the hell that is, I've never heard of him before, expressed the joy he was taking in the new Spider-Man game so far by saying, enjoying the new Spider-Man game. And to demonstrate this glee, he showed us what he'd been doing with the photo mode, just capturing the everyday happenings of bike crashes and EMTs working to try and save somebody's life in New York City. You had some people paying homage to Uncle Ben by taking selfies next to his grave. Really powerful statement coming off of these hands here. Now, of course, Spider-Man memes didn't start with the release of just this game. A lot of them, most of them, probably almost all of them precede the game. Like the I don't feel so good thing from Infinity War. That was a neat little highlight of April/May before the depression sank in moments after the meme finally died off and stopped acting as a way to delay having to deal with my grief over Peter Parker's death. But getting back to the topic of Uncle Ben, there's the classic meme of Spider-Man being absolutely destroyed by seeing packets of Uncle Ben's rice everywhere. Like right here, we have Uncle Ben's corpse made out of Uncle Ben's rice, and just look at poor Peter Parker right here. He's heartbroken, screaming over that body of starch in front of him. In a more casual setting, you have Spider-Man just chilling, walking through the grocery aisles until his eyes come across a packet of Uncle Ben's rice. And then boom, he's really sad. Of course, there was that era of YouTube you might remember where everybody thought that there might be some weird fetish videos disguised as kids content lurking on the back end of the website. A back end that was getting hundreds of millions of views at the time, mind you. But as you all might remember back in Elsa Gate, as it was called, children's characters were often played by some random people in some weird-ass videos like Spider-Man getting Elsa pregnant, and for whatever reason, the two most recurring characters in any of these videos, no matter who they were made by, were those two characters. Elsa, as the name of the whole thing, gives the fuck away in Spider-Man. It was a real low point in Peter Parker's career, I would have to say, but it happened, and you know what I have to say to that? He probably should have gone back to wrestling. It was something he already had experience in, and he probably would have saved him some hassle from guys like H3H3. And Another of these alternate universe pictures that I think about quite a lot is when there were these set photos taken of Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man, and Brie Larson, who plays Captain Marvel, from the back, and of course, people were comparing their asses, as you do. But good God, does Tom Holland have a butt? Like, the strangest part, though, was when people decided to switch the butts on the two just to get an idea of, you know, I'm really not sure what they were trying to get an idea of. This one is just a bit odd, isn't it? A brief little meme that's probably worth mentioning here is one that originates from Spider-Man material, but isn't exactly about Spider-Man himself. It's the one scene in Spider-Man Homecoming where Captain America sits on the chair backwards like the absolute Chad he is, and then goes on to give a riveting lecture about detention or something where he's all, so, you got detention. Except in the meme, people change the caption to be something like, so, you auto-locked Genji on Overwatch. By the way, that is not a habit I am ashamed of even 2 years later. You can't take him away from me no matter how hard you try, scoundrels. If we're gonna be talking about Spider-Man games and Spider-Man memes though, I think I'm at risk of prison time and federal prosecution if I forget to add the pizza theme from Spider-Man 2, like, good God. If you guys don't know what song I'm talking about because you didn't play Spider-Man 2 as a kid like me, I'll play a quick snippet, but you have probably heard it in at least a couple memes nowadays. Flashbulb memory is defined by Wikipedia as a highly detailed, exceptionally vivid snapshot of the moment and circumstances in which a piece of surprising, inconsequential, or emotionally arousing news was heard. And the moment that I found out that the pizza theme was from Spider-Man 2 was one of those flashbulb moments for me. It was on an episode of Loudmouths, a podcast I have with Wild Spartans and FPS Diesel that you should definitely check out. But the pizza theme is so well regarded amongst internet denizens that people got really excited when they realized that there was an Easter egg to the pizza theme in the new Spider-Man game. Now, this meme would be really good, and it would show that Insomniac really ain't playing around with the Spider-Man game shit, which they had already proved, but this game would be an undisputed 10 out of 10 with this Easter egg's existence. The only issue, though, is that I can't tell if it's fucking real. I am hearing a lot of contradicting reports on the issue. I'm seeing some people say that when they go to that area in the game, they can't trigger the music to happen. Others saying they get it to work once, but upon revisiting the location, they can't get it to work again. Some people are even asking how the hell I got into their house. It's a lot of mixed results all around, it seems. But the absolute king, an undisputed source of Spider-Man meme formats, has to be one of the oldest things that Peter Parker has appeared in, the 1967 Spider-Man cartoon. This show is legendary to say the least. Spider-Man was only around a 5-year-old character back then, and the show itself was definitely a little on the zanier side of things. So the era that it's from and the nature of its content really lended itself to getting the fuck memed out of it 40 or 50 years down the road. Of course, there is the pop culture icon of an image of two Spider-Man pointing at each other accusingly, a meme that has withstood the test of time and that at least one person has chosen to recreate inside the new Spider-Man game, with one of the many people who, for whatever reason, decide to dress up as Spider-Man and just prowl around the street in said costume. It is a bit strange, to be honest, but I guess I might be a little too concerned about what's considered normal. In a world where a man with spider powers swinging around New York, punching drug dealers in the face, but not hard enough so they don't die, it's a strange plane of existence they live in already. But back to that image of the two Spider-Men blaming each other over something ambiguous. The two Spider-Men will sometimes have words superimposed onto or over them, or a caption attached to represent a situation in which two similar or two exactly the same things blame each other for something bad that's happened, like the situation depicted here, when two pedophiles pretend to be a 7-year-old girl and finally meet up. An edited version of this meme, where a third Spider-Man is walking between the other two Spider-Men's line of sight, exists, and I've seen this image compared to one picture I'm convinced comes from a pocket dimension, where all three former and current Spider-Man live-action actors, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, all found themselves together in person. Now, sadly, while the Spider-Man cartoon from the 60s as a whole is absolutely prolific, not all the memes and screenshots originating from the show have aged as well as the two Spider-Men pointing at each other. While many of the screenshots still are comedic on their own, they are weighed down by a large amount of impact font captions, which is truly a shame. Like here we have this image of Spider-Man being held at gunpoint and knife point simultaneously. My mind is absolutely racing with the amount of possibility that this image provides. Imagine the amount of memes we can make where the gun and the knife each represent some form or source of human suffering. We could make some absolute fucking bangers out of this. But instead, since the meme is a little on the older side, it has to approach the screenshot from an angle of logic and reason, where it notes that Spider-Man, despite being held captive, has both his arms still free. Not cool, man. I like my memes throwing me into existential crises, not this logical humor bullshit. But if we want to keep looking at poorly aged Spider-Man memes though, here's a screenshot of Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man 3. I'm not trying to hate on this generation of memes, I was all about this shit when I was younger. This phase of meme culture is a part of our shared human suffering, guys. Let's gather around now. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe. If you want to support the channel a little more directly, you can do so by clicking that join button next to the subscribe button. You can donate $5 a month to get things like custom badges and custom emotes. If that's something you you guys are interested in, it would be much appreciated. But either way is absolutely fine. I have a podcast with Wild Spartans and FBS Diesel called Loudmouse. We upload 2 new episodes every week, and we're up on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at Kwite and on Instagram at Kwite.png. Links to both of those in the description below. And lastly, I also have a Discord server. Link to that in the description as well if you're interested. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I will see you guys next time.